Stop scrolling. You're about to see the pistols nobody warned you about this year. The guns that showed up, embarrassed the so-called kings, and changed the rules in 2025. Forget the fanboy lists and the YouTube echo chambers. I'm talking about real pistols that proved it at the range and not just on a spec sheet. Half the folks out there are still preaching the same tired brands. Meanwhile, these 10 came out of nowhere and made shooters question everything they ever trusted. Some of these are ugly, some are cheap, some you've probably laughed at, but each one left shooters stunned, myself included. One even made the local Glock guy pack up and head home early. And don't blink, because the gun at number 1, I watched a whole room go dead silent when it ran. So if you want the inside line before everyone else, or just want to see the guns nobody wants you to talk about, this is it. Let's get into the 10 pistols that shocked everyone in 2025. Let's be real. Half of these guns got mocked in forums, called junk by so-called experts, and left to collect dust until they started dropping jaws at the range. If you're still here for the usual top 10 love fest, you're lost. But if you want the list that pissed off the loudest guys in the room, you're in the right place. Let's get after it. I was this close to putting it back on the shelf. Textured like a melted toy, no named value in my head, and it said made in Turkey. So yep, I rolled my eyes and kept walking. Then a buddy of mine, ex-cop, doesn't say much, just nods at it and mutters, "One mag, just one, then you'll know." Fine, I did. First magazine, I felt it. Second mag, I wasn't just shooting targets, I was cutting holes clean through Texas wind. By the third, I wasn't blinking anymore. That low bore axis, it stuck to my hand like it belonged there. I took the optic plate off and whispered under my breath, "What the hell is this thing?" Canik Meti MC9. Didn't shout for attention, didn't need to. The slide is smooth like a bar counter after last call, triggers flatter than my ex's personality, and the damn thing runs. No limp wristing, no failures, no drama. I've paid twice the price for guns that jammed by lunch. This one just kept going like it had a job to prove. And the real kicker? You're not breaking the bank with it, not even close. But it shoots like something that should be locked in a safe with velvet walls. There's this old supply crate sitting at the back of my cousin's garage. No label, no markings, just dust and the smell of old oil. He tells me that ain't mine. You take it if you want. So I pop it open, half expecting rusted mags or busted airsoft junk. Inside, a full-size 9mm with zero branding on the grip. Just that weirdly clean modular build like someone in a lab built it to spec and forget to advertise it. Now the weird part, this thing racks like it's been greased by NASA. The trigger wall, dead clean. And it didn't feel like any Glock, SIG, or CZ I ever touched. Something felt off, but good. Like it didn't belong in a garage in East Texas, let alone in my hands. Recoil was soft, sights lined up like it already knew where I wanted to hit. I walked away thinking this was some obscure imported gun with a swapped slide, but nope. Turns out it's the Springfield Echelon, and I swear I don't even like Springfield, but this thing feels like their engineers had a secret side project nobody was supposed to see. It doesn't brag, it doesn't try to look cool, it just works, like really works. Cold, flat, and surgical. And that crate? Still no idea where it came from, but I'm glad it found me. You ever try calling 5 different dealers back to back, and every single one tells you the same thing? Happened to me back in March. I wasn't even looking for one. A buddy of mine down in San Antonio was desperate to find a Glock 43X MOS. Said he'd trade his optic-ready Hellcat if I could lend one for him. So I figured, All right, let's see who's got stock. First call, sold out last week. Second, we might get more in April. Third, they're gone before they hit the shelf. By the fifth call, I stopped asking. That's when it clicked. This pistol didn't need a billboard, it was already in people's waistbands. While all the spotlight was stuck on the G19 or G45, this little optic-ready carry piece was running a quiet operation and winning. Turns out the Glock 43X wasn't some backup plan, it was the plan. Slim, accurate, red dot ready, and gone faster than ammo in a panic sale. Especially in Texas, good luck grabbing one brand new without a wait. And if you think this one moved fast, wait till you meet the next one. You couldn't even Most folks in Texas gun circles still call it that effing Glock thing, and I kinda get it. It's got that safe square look, no weird lines, no wild color schemes, just a clean, compact 9mm that seems like it's trying not to stand out. But here's the shocker. It's got more brains and guts than most of the junk being pushed in gun stores right now. The Reflex isn't just another CCW pistol that rides the micro trend. This thing feels tight, refined, like someone at FN actually sat down and said, let's build a carry pistol that makes sense. Great trigger, legit slide geometry, and no fluff. And yep, while half the world's busy debating if the 43X is better than the P365, FN quietly dropped a carry gun that eats recoil smoother and runs cleaner than both in some cases. Gun store owners in Houston and Lubbock told me they couldn't keep the Reflex on shelves for long. One guy even said he thought it was boring at first until it started outselling his Glocks. That's wild. People think this gun copied Glock, but nope. It studied Glock, then fixed what needed fixing without bragging. And yet, there's still one pistol left that nobody expected this year. It's not tactical, not flashy, and definitely not new, but it certainly shocked everyone. Let's finish this right. You blinked, and this thing disappeared from shelves. No press release, no big gun tuber campaign, no flashy Gen 5 branding. The IWI Masada Slim just showed up, quietly. At first glance, folks thought it was another polymer striker trying to copy the P365, but something was different. You walk into gun stores across Texas, Dallas, Lubbock, Amarillo, and they all tell you the same thing. Masada Slim? Gone last week. One guy even joked it was the ghost of SHOT Show. Never saw it on the wall, but somehow every regular had one in their waistband. The grip texture's right, the trigger is crisp, it runs flat, and ejects clean. No fancy logos, no fiber optic gimmicks. Just a lean, reliable 9mm from a brand that knows conflict zones better than most manufacturers do mall security. It ain't perfect, but it doesn't need to be, because whatever this gun is doing, it's working, and people trust it enough to not even wait for a YouTube review. And now there's one more surprise in this list, a gun that almost nobody saw coming, and yet it's still climbing. I remember walking into the shop down in Fort Worth just wanting to pick some ammo. The old guy behind the counter squints at me and says, "Don't waste your cash on that Taurus junk. They ain't built like the old stuff." I didn't even ask, but something about the way he said it made me want to prove him wrong. I went home that night, poured myself a strong drink, and started reading up. I saw folks online talking trash, but a few voices cut through the noise. Guys who actually ran the gun. One said it fed steel case like butter. Another said he ran 800 rounds without a hiccup. No fluff, just function. And it wasn't $700, not even $500. Let's just say the price was disrespectfully low for what it delivered. So I picked one up. The Tactical. Suppressor ready, front slide cuts, upgraded trigger, no frills, but no failures either. I've shot that thing dirty, hot, and with garbage tier range ammo. Not once did it cough. And that same shop owner saw me shoot in groups tighter than his 1911. Sometimes the guns folks laugh at is the one you should be carrying. And right when I thought the surprises were done, some fancy pistol from Croatia showed up, dressed to kill, and I wasn't ready. They don't just discontinue a pistol like this because it's outdated. No, sir. Sometimes something works too well for its own good. Something about the Walther P99 always felt like it slipped through the cracks, like it wasn't supposed to exist in the modern catalog. You hold it, and suddenly you're not dealing with marketing fluff or flashy red dot ready garbage. You're holding a machine that knows what it's doing. The anti-stress trigger, damn near psychic. Long pull, curse break, and the kind of reset that makes you blink like you missed something. It's like the engineers got bored one day and decided to show the rest of the world how smooth a polymer pistol could actually be, and then someone upstairs said, "All right, that's enough." They wrapped it up in this final edition and gave us one last box of quiet rebellion. No flash, no influencer hype, no optic-ready billboard. Just a pistol that actually respected the shooter. It was built for folks who feel their trigger, not just pull it. But now it's gone. And don't think for a second that was by accident. They couldn't sell you upgrades if this thing stayed around. And just when I thought no more surprises were left in the bag, out comes a pistol nobody's ready to see return. Imported trouble, hidden muscle. So this thing wasn't even on my radar. Arex from Slovenia? Come on. Sounds like some plastic fantastic knockoff trying too hard to play in the big leagues. I'd heard whispers, a few folks on forums claiming it felt cheap, others saying the slight finish wore off fast, and there were some stories floating around about early batches not cycling steel case too well. So yeah, let's just say I walked in with a little bias, but here's the punch in the jaw. I shot one, and not just anyone. This was a Gen 2M, bone stock, blacked out, and the damn thing ran smoother than a lot of big names I've shelled out twice the cash for. Snappy trigger, dead-on accuracy at 10 yards, and not a single hiccup in 200 rounds. All brass sure, but still. It was punchy and light, like it wanted to run. Word is, some shops in Texas, like one in Wichita Falls, were selling out of these. Quietly. No banner ads, no Glock comparisons, just folks coming in, testing one, and then taking it home. And now I get it. You'd never expect a sleeper like this to perform this clean. Looks like a budget beater, shoots like it's got something to prove, and maybe that's the point. The spinning barrel nobody saw coming. You ever pick up a gun that feels weirdly alive? Like it's got a hump to it, a pulse, something old school, maybe even haunted. The Beretta PX4 Storm isn't slick. It's not modern, and it sure as hell ain't trying to win any beauty contests. But buddy, the moment I racked that slide and saw that rotary barrel twist like some 90s sci-fi robot, I knew this wasn't your average plastic pistol. No one talks about it. Hell, half the guys at the range ask me if it's some airsoft toy. That's how out of place it looks beside your Glocks and SIGs. But then it shoots and it's quiet. That rotating barrel eats recoil like a fat kid at a county fair. You get this soft, buttery slide action and almost zero muzzle flip. Unnerving, but in a good way. Some older LEOs still swear by it, said it ran cleaner than their old 92 FS back in the day. I don't know if it's voodoo or just clever Italian engineering, but I'm not questioning it anymore. Most shelves don't even stock it unless you ask, but once you hold one, it doesn't leave your mind. My Uncle Naughty, remember? He's the kind of guy who would pour ketchup on steak and carry a revolver to a barbecue. He wasn't stupid, but he sure liked being stubborn. Always told me, never carry what everyone else is carrying. That's how they know what to expect. I used to laugh at that, but so did most of the range regulars when he pulled out this weird Turkish pistol at the end of the bench. It had a goofy name, strange slide cut, and it wasn't even that expensive, but it ran. Year after year, mag after mag, it just kept shooting straight. Then something odd happened. One day, I walked into a shop in Fort Worth and it was sold out. Not low stock, gone. Turns out, word had gotten around. Now, folks are realizing the Bursa TPR-9C isn't just some budget oddball, it's all metal, DASA, and has that old school hammer bite feel without feeling dated. Shoots flat, carries tight, and does exactly what most folks wish their SIG or CZ did without the guilt price tag. My uncle, he still carries his, still gets mocked, but more than once, I've had someone whisper that thing's actually kind of solid. Guess he wasn't wrong after all. Now here's a gun that's not supposed to be this good for the price, but still shows up like it wants to slap the big names around. The T-Sauce 1911 Duty in 9mm has been causing waves in the steel frame crowd, and not just with new shooters either. It's got that full-size government profile, forged frame and slide, Novak style sights, and a clean crisp trigger that honestly puts some $1,000 1911s to shame. But the part that's got small town shops scrambling, it's usually gone within days. Gun counters in Tennessee, Idaho, and the Carolinas have all said the same thing. This model doesn't last a week in stock. Some guys blame local USPSA shooters and retired comps who want that heavy-duty reliability without coughing up a grand. Others say it's just old-school 1911 charm done right. Finally. Either way, it's one of those imports that's quietly building a cult following, and the industry's just now catching up. The Stoker STR-9C is the pistol nobody brags about, but every budget-conscious shooter in Texas is quietly grabbing when Glocks and M&Ps go out of reach. It's built by a Beretta-owned company, but somehow still flies under the radar. Clean slide serrations, compact footprint, optic-ready options, and the grip texture, way better than it has any right to be at this price point. Now here's the weird part. It ain't flashy, not fancy, and yet most local gun shops we checked around Dallas and Fort Worth had either just sold their last STR-9C or had no clue when more were coming. Why? Because word of mouth has been doing the job silently. No big ad push, no YouTube influencer drama. Just performance on the range and a price tag under $400. It's like folks are hoarding them while no one's looking. This might be the last secret budget banger left in 2025. So if any of these pistols pissed you off, good. If you're mad your favorite didn't show up, even better. That's how it works in the real world. Half of these guns got laughed at, then went and smoked the legends out the range. Still clutching your old carry because some guy online told you to? Go for it. But don't come crying to me when you get outshot by a junk gun you never bothered to even try. And if you're one of those keyboard commandos already ranting in the comments, save it. Nobody cares what some spreadsheet says if the gun can't run dirty, hot, and fast with real shooters behind it. You want to know what actually works in 2025? It's right here. The rest is just noise. Now go try something that might actually surprise you, and maybe next year you'll have a story worth telling. This is Steve, and I shoot what works, not what sells.